So what can I say to you? But I'm off that, had to fall back. You got everybody thinking I'm all bad. You know the truth. I was always holding you down. You down. Baby. What is this for this girl? What is love? What is love? You believe in it for two.
Yo, what it do, man? This is your boy North End Floyd, man. This is the Kickback podcast. This is Ep.214, man. And I got a special guest on here, man. This is a guy that I looked up to, inspirational to me because of what he does. He does what he loves. And I know that when you hear his voice, you're going to be like, yep, that's him. So let me introduce, man, who I got on the podcast tonight.
And what's going on, man? It's big homie Erik Tee.
Erik Tee on the radio live, man. Hey, man, this is dope for me to have you on here, man. Like,
man, I appreciate you, bro. Like I said, and before we even get started, I just want to, show respect and props to you, man, for what you're doing. The fact that you give, listeners and your followers a chance to connect with, just people on an everyday basis, from the mayor to councilmen and councilwomen. Like, that's dope.
Yeah, like as far as podcasts, everybody's looking for their viral moment, their viral clip. The argument, the male, female, Oh
yeah.
And I just want to have dope conversations with dope people, man. And I think that's more influential than arguing that what you see on some of these platforms that are trying to go viral and stuff like that. So
I mean, I don't really feel like it has longevity. I mean, I think after you hit it that first time, it's like you just said, but it's almost like getting high. You keep looking for that next one.
Yeah, exactly, man. And now it's not organic.
Yeah.
Because now you kind of scripting things and you see some shows or some stuff on the internet and you be like, is that real or is that scripted? And
I'm telling you, man, you don't know what to believe.
Yeah. So
for real.
So how you doing today, man? What's good with you?
Man, I'm good. Just kind of hanging up in here, man. Just getting ready for this weekend.
Busy weekend?
A few things happening. But I do another thing before I start, man, I just want to shout out my coworker, my brother, Charles Woods. We recently lost him about a week or so ago. So just family, we love him. We loved him and we appreciate him. And so, man, I want to send a show out to him.
Yeah, you know what? I was actually going to bring that up towards the end. I'm glad you talked about it now. Yeah. So who was Charles to you, man? Because I seen your video and stuff like that. And I want to, he seemed special to you.
Yeah, man.
And I just want people to understand who this special guy was.
Well, the thing about it in radio, and I'm sure it's pretty much with like any job, if you're working around somebody for, a long period of time, then you got to get that connection. I've only really known Charles personally, probably 3.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But just being around that time, man, you've been with the radio station way before I got there, probably 20 plus years.
Okay.
So he was like a proponent. If people saw magic, they saw him. He was in the community. He was what they call an account executive, which had kind of moved up. He was doing the digital side of it as well, but he would take care of the advertising. So the commercials you hear, things of that nature, he was the one that was out there selling that. When I first got here, he was one of the ones that made sure that I met a lot of the right people. So just that connection, man, it was really like a serious bond between us two. We were just together in the MLK parade. He was always pretty much whatever I needed him to do, he'd do. It was some things that I had to be like, all right, I got it. Don't worry about it. But no, he was just a really, really good guy, man. So he's going to be missed. Obviously, just not being able to see him anymore. But yeah, that's what he did. He was a big proponent for the station, a big proponent for people in the community.
Yeah.
Just a good guy all around.
Dang, 20 plus years in the game.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Shoot, man. That's legendary out here for real.
Man, look, that's kids.
Yeah, we lost a good one. I wish I could have met him, man.
I wish you could have. You might have. I'm sure you've seen him out. I mean, you know, most of the time, if you saw me in a couple of different places, he was with me. But yeah, he was just a good guy. I think everybody in the city knew him. A lot of calls and texts that I've gotten over the past few weeks, man. So a lot of folks still in shock, but just kind of giving me memories of what they remember about him, and everybody I've talked to has had good memories.
No doubt. So, shout out to him. Shout out to the family too, also.
Yes, sir.
So you grew up in Mississippi.
Yeah, man.
Where in Mississippi?
Place called Meridian.
Meridian.
It's about an hour and maybe an hour and 20 minutes away from Jackson. So it's like kind of right there on the Alabama line going toward, Tuscaloosa and up in those areas. But yeah, Meridian is my home. 601.
You been out there lately?
I haven't been since last year.
Okay.
But yeah, I still have family there. Pretty much, I have 3 brothers that live there. A lot of my nieces and nephews still there. A lot of my, classmates and things of that nature. And that's what kind of started the whole Erik Tee movement. Yeah.
Okay. What was y'all listening to in Meridian? What was the sound like? Who was the artist like growing up? Everybody was like, yeah, that's who we jamming.
The funny thing about it, like a lot of the music, especially when it came to hip hop, excuse me, a lot of it kind of started with a lot of the East Coast, but I was kind of into everything. So I was into X-Clan, I was into Public Enemy.
Okay.
And then, we go to the West Coast, I was into Ice-T and NWA. But I think some of the first Southern hip hop, aside from the MC Shy D, the Shake It and stuff like that, I was into rap a lot, so definitely Scarface.
Yeah.
Ghetto Boys, of course, Raheem, just a lot of that. And then we got up on Suave House. So we was kind of into a little bit of everything for real. On the music side, we was into everything.
Yeah. Like you said, man, I grew up first listening to East Coast music.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it didn't switch, but started gravitating towards the West. You know what I'm saying? But with me, NWA, I didn't really start listening to NWA. I remember my uncle playing a song, and that's the first time I heard cuss words. And I was like, oh. But Snoop and the Dog Pound is how I came. Well, Snoop the Dog Pound, MC8, Spice One is how I introduced, got introduced to the as far as West Coast. And then, like you said, down south, pretty much the same artists and stuff like that. So what gravitated you towards getting into radio? Like what made you make that move?
I would start with my oldest brother. And sorry, y'all, this weather.
Oh man, this weather been killing me.
Started with my oldest brother. He was in the military, which all of my brothers were in the military. But when he would go out of town, he would always grab records, and because he loved music too, So with him being older, at the time he was probably 20 years older than I was. But he was in everything from jazz, like groups like Hiroshima. I started knowing about just a lot of different artists through him. So I think it was just the love that he had for music. I kind of picked that up from him. He also loved photography too, which is why I take a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
But I used to call the radio stations, man, get on their nerves. If they had caller ID back then, they probably wouldn't have answered. But, I was always calling them and just kind of asking them questions about, hey, how are you talking on the record? And, who's that artist? And I mean, because I got crates of records back in Mississippi. But yeah, I think I just kind of got excited just about hearing those people on the radio and what they were doing. And it kind of got me into it. So aside from calling them, I started helping out one of the radio stations. They used to do a lot of out of school dances and back to school dances.
Yeah.
So I kind of offered my services for free and they trade out for like 12 inches.
Okay.
So I would take the vinyl and that would just kind of help me get into my craft on mixing and everything. But that kind of helped build my name up a little bit to the point that eventually, I started working at a radio station and see, a lot of folks don't get it now. But back then we was working 24 hours. Like it was midnight to 6 to midnight. So I used to get the graveyard shift in radio.
Oh, the graveyard, the 12 to 6 or something like that?
12 to 6 in the morning, man. And I'm like 15, 16 years old.
Dang.
That was my weekend. So I'd go in Friday, Saturday night, but I'd sleep all day the next day. So I just kind of got into it doing that, playing music and calling the radio station, recording stuff off the radio with cassettes like a lot of other people did. And it just kind of grew into just really having a passion for it and wanting to learn a little bit more than just playing music and just talking on the radio. And that's what really kind of got me behind the scenes in it too. Okay.
As far as your brothers being in the military, they didn't try to influence you to follow their footsteps?
Not on that.
Nah.
No, not in the middle. I can't really say, obviously, we had to sign up with the selective service. That was mandatory.
Yeah.
But no, I never really had a desire to go. And I don't know, I probably would have tried to get a doctor's excuse or something. But what they really pushed me, and I talked about this on my TikTok a couple of days ago, they were really big on sports. Because even now, my brothers will canceled everything to watch a football game on a Sunday or whatever the case may be. And I just wasn't really into sports like that. But, I played a little bit and it just wasn't my thing. Music was always my thing.
Yeah.
And so that was really the thing that they pushed me to do. So my mom had 6 boys altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So out of all of them, I was the only one that didn't do the military.
Dang, 1 out of 6.
Yeah.
What all they went to? Army, Navy?
I had, I think 3 of them went to the Army. 1 was in the Air Force.
Okay.
And so it might have been 4 in the Army, but 1 was definitely in the Air Force. So.
Yeah, I had 2 uncles in the Army, and it's like they was waiting for their nephews to hit 18 before when they was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We got the Army right here for you and stuff like that. So
much respect to everybody.
Yeah, for real.
Man. Much respect. I just couldn't, and I can understand it's definitely good if you're going to use it as a way to kind of take care of college.
Exactly,
or
yeah.
kind of lead to a new occupation. Obviously, it gives you an opportunity to see different things, especially for a person like myself being from, Meridian, Mississippi, which was, fairly small.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to go and get stationed in a Tokyo or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
That could be eye-opening.
Yeah, I see that when people get stationed in Tokyo or Hawaii.
Yeah.
I had a friend when I first started doing live shows, and she did the show from Hawaii. And the view she had in the background was like, man, it was like a computer image or whatever, and stuff like that. So
some people get over there and they literally stay.
Yeah, for sure.
So again, salute all my armed forces, military. Thank y'all.
Now, as far as being on the radio at 15, 16, how was that first night?
I don't want to get too vulgar, but let's just say I did not sleep at all that first night.
I bet you didn't. Yeah.
It was wild. I remember, because for a minute, like I was doing a lot of the radio station for free, wasn't really doing, getting paid for anything. But basically what happened, and I think this is kind of what got me to the way I am right now, which is why I try to be reliable. I show up on time. I do what I'm supposed to do. I really wasn't even supposed to work that weekend.
Oh,
but a person called out, I don't know if they were partying too much or got sick or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he called me. My program director at the time called me probably about 3:30, like right when I got out of school. And he was like, hey, I need you to come in tonight at midnight. And I was like,
3:30 after school, he called you like,
yeah, man. And
dang.
So, and that was, like I said, that Friday. And so, when I tell you I did not sleep, I think it was definitely the nervousness, the anxiousness. and then it didn't make it any better. Because once everybody else at the radio station found out I was going to be there, they was all calling like, hey, I'm going to be listening to you.
Yeah. That definitely didn't make it
even worse.
Yeah.
So I know that first night, man, I probably forgot to turn the mic off. I was probably, because back then we played vinyl. So I'm playing probably the wrong versions of songs. It was just a lot of stuff. But man, after that first weekend, and I went back to school that Monday, people's like, hey, man, we heard you and this and that.
That's dope.
Like, Kanye, you couldn't tell me nothing, man.
Yeah. Is that when you first fell in love? Like, when did you, because first you say you started helping out.
Yeah.
When did you realize, okay, yeah, this is.
It was actually, man, I think at that moment, I've always just kind of gotten into just watching people and their reaction to the music, because I used to do clubs and things for a minute too, and like 17 dances, which is why, like, I'll even tell DJs right now, like when DJs do mixes on the radio, it's a lot different than when you're doing it at an event or a club, because on the radio, you can't really see the reactions.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily know if they vibe into what you're playing or not. When you actually in a club or at an outing, you get to see an instantaneous, yeah, this ain't it. So let me switch to another type song. So I think it was really just that, because I don't know. It was just something about being on the radio. I have to admit, I think as a teenager, it was a little ego thing too.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, without a doubt.
So it was definitely that. But I literally, aside from radio, I can count each job that I've worked on one hand. Like I've literally done, I think I did Burger King. I worked in the sound shop. I worked in movie gallery. Other than that, it was literally radio.
How has radio changed from when you first started to now? Was it, are you just adapting through the times as like right now, or is it a big difference when you first started as far as talking on the radio to now to how you do it as far as, on the radio?
I think it's definitely changed. It's so much more competitive right now.
Yeah. Oh, really?
It's just as far as, options, because people do have options. So that's why I think everybody that gives me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, because you do have you have other options to go to. But one thing I've always practiced and preached is we're all playing the same music. It's just at the end of the day, what are you doing in between the songs? What are you doing in your community? Are you making a presence? Are you making an impact? Or is it just about an ego thing? So
Mhm.
radio has changed just because, first of all, like I said, when I first started, you had 15, 20 people.
Yeah.
Everybody had their own show. Sometimes you had live morning shows. You had people, one person could be over here in this location, another person could be at this location because you had so many folks that you could kind of divvy off into different spaces. Now it's really gotten a little bit more compact. I had friends that do television, and back in the day, news reporters, when they go out, they're going out, you got the news reporter and you got the cameraman.
Yeah.
Well, these days, news reporters are having to kind of do everything.
I see that.
So it's changed to the point that it's still fun. It's a little bit more structured now, and I think that kind of takes away some of the fun. But like I said, my fun is just kind of getting out there and shaking hands and kissing babies. I call it politicking.
Yeah.
I think that's really what makes a difference. And even in the competitive space that we're in, man, I'm going to do what I got to do to make sure that we stay as relevant as possible.
Do you think like some people, as I don't know if you noticed or you've seen anything, but do you think people are like, they're not really like original, like it's an act to try to, get people to watch? Because you say it's competitive. So you think people are just going overboard to try to get people to listen? Do you run into that in the field where you're like, it's like the craziness as far as like to get viewership?
Yeah. I mean, I look at it like, and again, I like people like the Breakfast Club. I like a lot of different artists, but like it's only one Charlemagne. It was only one Wendy Williams. It's only one of each person. Now, one thing I did do when I was younger, I had a person that told me, he said, if you really want to do this radio thing, he said, take something from 2 to 3 people that you listen to, that you respect and admire, and take something from each one of those people, not necessarily trying to emulate them.
Yeah.
But just take something from them. Maybe you like the way this person answered the phone or the way they talked to a listener, and just kind of try to put that all into one. So I feel like I feel like that if you are unauthentic, people can eventually find that out, because you can only do that for so long. You can only fake for so long, which is why, like I said, what you're going to get with me. I'm not a person that's screaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't got to be, extra hype, because at the end of the day, I'm in the space that I'm in for the reason that I'm in it. You know what I'm saying? So if I wasn't good at what I do, I don't feel like I would have been able to be in this for like 30 plus years.
You think about changing the name to the OG Erik Tee?
It could, but it's funny when people address me, man. I got been called OG.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. Because one thing, just like I had a guy that reached out to me a couple of weeks ago, and he follows me on social media, but he's actually a student at Barb. I'm sorry, he's at a student at Beaumont United. And so I got him coming out tonight to the event that I'm going to be doing, just to get him to do some camera work, because I want to see just what kind of work he does. But he reached out to me. He was like, man, I see you doing different things, and I just wanted to kind of reach out to you and see if, maybe you'd be willing for me to shadow and just kind of see what you got going on, because you can't take it with you. You know what I'm saying? So if I can help somebody else, whether it gets him an opportunity in radio or podcasting or just behind the scenes, or if I can kind of get him in the space with other folks that could potentially get him other opportunities, that's what it's all about. So yeah, I mean, I'll take the OG. I don't know if I'm ready to change it. Like, even though I've been hitting the gym, people are like, well, you ain't the big homie no more. I'm like, but I'm always going to be the big homie.
Yeah, for sure. You listed Charlemagne and Wendy Williams, and I told my wife, like, when I first started doing this, like, I mean, a lot of Wendy Williams caught a lot of slack, you know what I'm saying, I guess because of the drama and what she did, but I always liked it, Wendy Williams, even when she was doing radio, you know what I'm saying. I liked Wendy Williams, and Charlemagne, he's grown, he's changed from what he first started. He was kind of wilding out and people knew him for the craziness. Now he's kind of really calmed down and stuff. But the growth, how have you changed as far as getting older in the game, or you just been consistently the chill big homie?
I don't know. I think my wife would have to answer that. But no, I think I've always just been kind of a chill person. One thing about it, like I said, we went through kind of the ego phase, or, unfortunately we all kind of go through the me, but I had to realize that at the end of the day, man, you cannot do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
So I've been honored and happy to say that I've had like a lot of great people that worked along with me, because where I am right now, I couldn't have got it and done it all by myself. I had to have had some people that I could delegate some stuff to. I had to have some people that I knew could take care of this if I wasn't going to be able to do it. And, God forbid, even if I would have gotten ill, I need to know that I had somebody that was going to be able to keep the ball rolling, So I've changed, I think, just taking a little bit more time for myself.
Yeah.
So like when I do like posting and things on social media, like it's a real big proponent, and I know you are too, is talking about mental health and self-care. I think that's very important. I'm very competitive.
Yeah.
I don't really take losses very well, and I had to kind of humble myself a little bit better, because I understand everybody's not going to win.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of get a little bit better at accepting that. And even when I accept it, it just kind of takes me back to the drawing board, and I'm just going to refocus and just get myself better. But before, if I would lose, man, it will probably take a few weeks.
Oh, dang. Not a couple of days, a few weeks.
I'm telling you, because it's a whole lot of thinking of how or why or what happened or, what did I miss? So it's a whole bunch of different things I'm trying to cipher through. But I've just finally learned to just kind of accept it, kind of deal with it, and eventually just kind of move on. So I think I've definitely changed for the better, because if not, I was in a weird place for a minute.
Yeah. You said as far as like the workouts and I've been seeing it, like you consistent, you in the morning grinding, and I'm trying to, you inspire me, man. Like slowly I'm getting there.
Damn.
What inspired the change, man? I know as we get older, we gotta pay attention to our bodies and listen to, our bodies more. What created the change for you as far as the consistent workout? Because you be going hard.
Man, it's been like a seesaw for a long time, bro. Just kind of up and down. Like I've lost a lot of weight, and then I've gained a lot of weight back.
Yeah.
But I think for me, this has been the most consistent that I've been. So big shouts out to my guy BJ. I started working out with him at Lake Charles about 3 years ago, and I never forget, because we're all friends, and as a matter of fact, we're godparents to their child. And so I think him and my wife had went to go visit his wife one time, and I think they were just talking about me wanting to get back into the gym and just wanting to work out. And so BJ was like, well, tell Eric to come meet me at the gym at 5. So I'm thinking he meant 5 p.m. He said 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, rolling over at 5 o'clock.
That's dedication.
It was, especially, I tell anybody, if you can do it during the winter, summer is nothing. So I started going with him, man, and obviously it was kind of tough. Not saying that I hadn't worked out before, but it was just tough being told kind of what to do. But eventually we got like a routine. So for me, the biggest thing was, even though a lot of people in my family lived a long time. My mom was 90 when she passed. My grandmother was in her late 70s. But I knew that hypertension kind of ran in my family. And things of that nature. So I was really just trying to preempt it. One of the things that I try to stick to is, I know we all have an expiration date. I'm just not trying to rush getting to it.
True that.
So whatever I got to do to kind of make sure that I'm getting myself healthy, whether it's 30 minutes, and I'll tell the guys in the morning, I'm like, man, we might not be giving 100% today, but we're doing better than that person sitting on the couch. So it's like,
real talk.
So if I can give an hour, if I can do an hour when I was going to the club and turning up and all this stuff, why can't I invest in myself? So I just finally got to that point that I got tired. Plus, a little vain moment, smaller sizes are a lot cheaper. The less X's that you have in your largest, it's a lot cheaper when you go to that register. So that was another thing too.
What's easier? Is it what do you like more, working out in the morning or working out like later on in that evening?
For me, man, I've been consistent. Mornings is it. And I actually used to work out in the evening. I get off work at 5, and then I go and work out from like 6 to maybe 8. But my days have changed so much, especially when I started working here, because it just, it was kind of like I wanted to, when I first started here, I wanted to make sure that I met the people. I wanted to make sure that I was able to get into the spaces where they were. I wanted to find out what was happening. And there's no way that I can actually say that I'm a part of the community or ask for the community support if I'm not going to be in the community. So I had to kind of switch it up, because I didn't know what my days were going to be like. Somebody might have an event at 5 in the afternoon. Somebody might have one at 7, and if I wanted to try to show support, I had to change it up a little bit. So for me, working out better in the morning is better. Plus I can go ahead and get it out of the way. So I don't feel like I'm pressed or got to rush to and not really give 100% when I do go, if I was going to go in the evening.
You worked in Lake Charles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you work before that?
It used to be a company called Town Square Media. Yeah.
Where was that, in Lake Charles also?
Yeah. I worked there for like 20 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's the vibe like? Is the music that they listen to as far as that city different from the music that Beaumont? I know we're not that far apart.
Yeah.
But can you tell the difference as far as like music wise that, people listen to, or is it just the same?
I know one thing, Lake Charles, since it's right here on the Texas line,
Mm-hmm.
H-Town.
Yeah.
For sure.
The cars and everything, huh?
Yeah.
Man, okay.
Riding swingers, the whole 9
Okay,
yards. Matter of fact, I would never forget when we first moved and started on Lake Charles. It was in 2001. It was right after my wife and I had gotten married.
Mm-hmm.
And when we came to Lake Charles, the first thing we heard was Man.
Oh, yeah. Man, by yeah.
And then a couple of years later, started hearing Zero. So
yeah,
they was really heavy on Houston music. So all SUC stuff, Swisher House,
yes.
Rec Shop, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But they were also heavy on a lot of Baton Rouge and New Orleans music, bounce music. Real big too. Of course, when Baton Rouge started popping off the Jigglelators and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I had never heard before, and that's big here in Beaumont as well, I had never heard Zydeco before I moved to Louisiana.
Oh, Zydeco? Yeah.
Yeah. So Lake Charles is it's kind of I call it like a gumbo, because it's a little bit of everything up in there. They like, the hip hop, they like down south, they like the jig, they like the screw, but they definitely love Zydeco for sure. So they're pretty similar, for the most part.
Hey, how'd it feel? I seen you got that you got the Fat Pat, the jacket and stuff like that. That's dope, man.
That was real dope, man.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I have to admit, sometimes I can be a groupie too.
But I say, dang, I think that's like limited. I don't think a lot of people got that.
No, I think it's still some available, but it is a limited amount that they are doing though.
Mm-hmm.
But man, and I haven't worn it. Like, I'm seriously thinking about just putting it in a frame.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Put it in a frame like a jersey and stuff.
So now, man, so big shouts out to No D, big shouts out to D-Rec, everybody with the Rec Shop. They came through, and if y'all get a chance, man, go check out that Fat Pat album. I'm telling you that bad boy is good from beginning to end.
Yeah. It's a lot of people when they found out that you was on the show, they as far as artists, the question that I was getting was, how can an artist get themselves on the radio?
Man, come talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm not hard to find at all. I do tell, unfortunately, I can't play everybody.
Yeah.
But what I try to do is I try to give artists a chance to get spotlighted. Man, if you got something that you feel is like good, like take your time with it. Try to make sure it's clean and mastered properly.
Mm-hmm.
You got Ken Turner here in Beaumont. He's got a quality studio, but it's a lot of places. Just make sure your music is good. Because I'm like, if you want to try to get your music on the radio, and not just Beaumont, don't even consider yourself local, because you got so many other places that you don't want to just be a Beaumont artist. I mean, you can be from Beaumont, but don't just think locally. But my thing is, if you want to if you feel like you're compatible with a Drake, or if you feel like you're compatible to whomever, it could be Ghana, it could be Chris Brown, your music's got to be quality just like that. And I'm not saying you got to go broke.
Yeah.
If you're listening to my show and you hear me go from a major artist song to your song and the quality doesn't match up, that's kind of like a draw right there. But my thing is, just make sure you have a song that is mixed and mastered properly. Make sure that it's clean. Think about it like you got your grandma in the car with you, and just try to promote it. I think the biggest thing is people feel like, I just made the song in the studio and I can take it right to the radio. Like, it's definitely levels, you know what I'm saying? And again, I'll listen to everything. If you send it to me, I'll listen to your music and I'll try to critique and tell you what I feel about it. I'm not saying I'm the end to all, but my thing is, I've listened to enough music over the years that I can say, have you thought about doing it this way? Or can you take this word out? Or, just whatever. But my thing is, just make sure you promote it properly. Because at the end of the day, I got to have a reason. If I'm going to take this major artist off and play your song, I got to have a reason to do so. So just make sure you like promoting it, like making sure you got a following, just like they're doing tonight with the artist showcase. You got to get, and it doesn't hurt to book your own venue. If you really as hot as you say that you are, book a venue. I don't care if it's 100 people, 50 people, 200. If these people will come out and pay to come see you, then that shows that you got some people that actually support you. And that's going to kind of get you to that next phase of really getting your music out there to the next level.
Man, I might have to clip this because it's a lot of people that need to hear this. As far as like, you know what I'm saying, book their own venue. I mean, you got to be a hustler out there, man, and you got to be innovative and creative. Also, you was at the 409 Media Mixer.
Yes, sir.
Man, y'all was dropping so much game for artists. As far as like you were saying so much as far as like registering their songs or something like that. It was some kind of stuff y'all was saying.
Nah, and we are doing another one. We got to get with Rose Gold so we can get everything secure. But it's another one coming up this year.
Okay, I've been to every one y'all didn't had so far.
Nah, matter of fact, I think that's where I first met you.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, man. I mean, you was taking pictures left and right, dog. I ain't gonna lie. You was like you was the star, and I was like, man, it was like I was standing in line, man. I was standing in line.
But no, but the thing about it, like, it's I try to have people that get on the panel, that can talk about that. But it's so true. Like, I used to do it like that back in Lake Charles. I used to have a thing called Get Your Grind On, and it was everything coming out of my pocket, But I just wanted to I've always tried to help artists because I do understand that they want to be heard. And trust me, I love listening to new music. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you just got to make sure that you're getting your stuff out there and getting heard. But it's so many different things because I think when the artist gets their music done, they don't think about the marketing of it. They don't think about the promoting of it.
Yeah.
They don't think about, like, you want to build up that hype. You know what I'm saying? You remember how back in the day when somebody was dropping a new CD was at the record store at midnight? Because you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get that kind of energy going on. And there's a lot of good artists out there, man.
It's a lot of good ones.
Just want to see y'all make it. So once I announce the date, I'm going to make sure Floyd knows. Maybe I can get him on one of the panels too.
Hey, sometimes you be talking to me. This post you be saying, like, you know what I'm saying, as far as breaking out of that shell. I think I broke out of that shell. I think it's just I don't know what to call it. I think it's a little stubbornness or whatever. But
Look, I tell my wife I'm like the most introverted or the most extroverted introvert. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I know, I mean, but think about it like this, artists too. Think about it like this, and I'll say this for businesses as well. If you were having an event, but you're not sending out invitations or you're not inviting anybody, they're not going to come.
Yep.
So you do have to kind of get out there. And again, you just got to get around and meet different people. I understand if you don't want to be in this big, with a whole bunch of folks, but if you can meet one, that one person is going to help you to meet somebody else. And that's pretty much all you need. So you do kind of have to get out of your own way. And I see a lot of businesses fail because they just want to stick behind the computer, and you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to do so much more, man. You just got to get out there and network a little bit. Artists, I understand some artists feel like in their mind they are the biggest thing since sliced bread, and I'm not going out here and hang out with this person. But man, you just never know what that door might open for you. And don't get fooled by people that's got 3 and 4 million followers. I ain't saying they buying bots.
Yeah, man.
My thing is this: you're overlooking people that's got like 1,000 followers, but you don't realize who that person could pick up the phone and call that could help you get somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
And that's the thing, man. Like you said, the 409 Media Mixer, and it's a lot of events that artists can put themselves in, but I don't know if they're not paying attention to what's going on.
Right.
But like you said, tonight with Rose Gold and them, which is, man, it's some dope artists that's gonna be at the event.
You coming through?
I might. That's what I said, man. It's an art thing. I think we need dope stuff like art and music.
Yeah.
And I was looking at some art show. I think it was in Washington D.C. Of course, Washington has it's a bigger population and all that, and they could do stuff like that. But I was like, man, art, just like black art shows, mixed with music. That's fire.
I mean, because it's like they do it in Houston, they do it in Dallas, they do it in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Why not support it if it's right here? It's just like, when they go to concerts in Houston, and true enough, Houston have the bigger shows and stuff like that when it comes down to it. But when you go to a show in Houston, and I love Houston, but you got to pay for the tickets. You got to get hotels. You got to pay for parking.
Parking,
you
for
sure. Pay for gas. So if they're bringing it right here at home, man, why not support it here? You know, because if you do support, I promise you, these celebrities, these managers, these promoters, they talk. So if you support, they're going to tell, man, y'all need to go to Beaumont because they go out and support, and that's really how the word kind of gets around. So, man, if you got something like what they're doing tonight at the Art Institute or, the 409 Media Mixer or Mural Fest or, just whatever they got going on in the city, man, go out and support it. because it took a lot of time for people to put that stuff together. A lot of money goes into it, and if you don't support it, it's a loss. And then when they don't have it again,
exactly, you be like, man, we don't never have nothing out here. Well, we did.
Just
like the every Sunday the comedy show. Yeah, for sure. And it look like it'd be packed.
It'd be packed, man. Again, y'all you go to the Improv.
Yeah, for sure.
So big shouts out to Grossman and everybody doing that up over there. It is comedy right here. We literally have our own comedy improv in Beaumont. Y'all need to support that every Sunday night, for real.
Oh, my boy King Creole is going. I think, is he gonna be there?
Yeah, I think King Creole gonna be there tonight too.
Okay, hey, that's my boy, man. King, man, he talented, dog. Like, man,
I met him a couple of months ago. I was in Houston. You know, that's another thing, man. Artists move around.
Yeah,
like, you know, man, right? You literally got your phone in your hand. You can find out where conferences are gonna be. You can find out some stuff you don't have to pay for. Some stuff you do. But again, it's like anything else. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, man, you can't expect for somebody to take a chance on you if you're not willing to take a chance on yourself.
Yeah. Shout out to King Creole. I had him on the show too. He sung a couple of lyrics and stuff. Like, I think he connected with Lil Flip. Yeah. So that's a big move, King. And he from here. He from Beaumont. So
right here, you know. So he is gonna be out there tonight, man. Big shouts out to my girl Keisha. I know they're gonna be out there too. It's
the performing in Unity.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is finna be.
So it's gonna be nice, man. Doors open at 7. It kicks off at 8. It's only $7 to get in. Again, it's gonna be at the Art Institute, man, right there on Franklin. So, man, come out and support it. I just want to see it packed because it's gonna make the artists feel good.
Yeah,
but it should make you feel good to know that you got that much talent right here in the city.
Yeah, another thing that I've been seeing you promote is the Tea Time.
Yeah, man.
What is that, man? Let them know what Tea Time is.
Tea Time Productions is something that I started years ago, really. But you know how you start something up and you just kind of focus on so many other things. You kind of put things on the back burner.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened with Tea Time Productions. But it was basically what I'm talking. This is my voice. Tea Time Productions is basically a subsidiary where I get a chance to use my voice to help other radio stations. Could be other businesses. Because what we do is called voiceovers. You know, just like you hear the movie trailers, and you hear the voice talking about the trailer and things of that nature. So, yeah, Tea Time Productions. I have a couple of radio stations that I'm working with. One in Monroe. I have one in Charleston, West Virginia.
Okay.
I have one that's right there in Lake Charles. You know, and I also do commercials, but I also add the hosting with it as well. So if you have like an event coming up and you're looking for a host, you can definitely tap in with me. You can go to teetimeproduction.com, and that's TEETYME production.com. But yeah, Tea Time Production is a little bit of everything, man. So you might be going through a certain city and you hear my voice on the radio in between the songs. I'm not working at that radio station.
And be like, oh, Erik Tee out here in Seattle.
Yeah, it's just the voice. Matter of fact, Southside said he was in Lake Charles one time and heard me on one of the stations over there. So
okay, shout out to Southside.
Yeah, man. So that's basically what it is. Tea Time Productions is just something that I created because I'm looking at it as like, man, I get other people paid. Why not pay myself?
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I seen that and I was checking it out. And like I said, and to be honest with you, you can, like, if somebody needs, like, as far as hosting their album or something like that.
I would love to host the album. If you got an album coming out, you got a mixtape coming out. And you know, another thing too, right quick, Floyd, man, I would love to see more artists do album listening parties.
Oh yeah,
like they don't do that enough around here.
Yeah,
like, if you got a mixtape coming out, if you got an album coming out, man, why not get a venue? It could be maybe a 75-seater, but do something and invite the DJs, invite the influencers, podcasters like yourself. You know, there's folks out to come out and let them get a chance to listen to the music before you actually release it to the public. It makes it kind of gives an exclusive vibe, but you get a chance to get that instant reaction.
Yeah. See, man, artists. Golly, man, they need to just hit. you got a mentor. So, I mean, you is the big homie. So, but I know a lot of artists that need to do something like that, man. Like, you know what I'm saying, as far as getting their name out there. Yeah. And I think a lot of them get frustrated and they think like the city don't support them because like nobody's listening to the music, or like you said, they'll do a song and then they'll play it just on Facebook or something.
Oh, and you got to know, and you got to get outside your comfort zone, man. I mean, I know I can play a commercial for my wife and she's going to support it. And sure enough, she'll keep it real. But for the most part, she's going to support me because she's my wife. What if I played that commercial for a stranger and get their reaction? You know, you got to get outside your comfort zone. You got to get outside the people that are in your corner because they're going to boost you up. But get around some folks that you ain't never met before and let them check it out and just kind of see what they think about it. But you got you, man. I mean, it's so many people that's willing to share information. But like I said before, so many folks don't want to get out of their own way. They feel like they know it all. And that's cool. But at the end of the day, man, you're not going to grow if you just stay in one place. I often say, if you had somebody to bake you a cake, would you want that cake in a microwave or would you want that cake in an oven? Chances are both of them are going to come out hot.
Yeah.
But only one's going to come out done.
Yeah.
And that's how it is with the music. I feel like if you're putting music out there and you just dropping music and not really investing in it, not really taking the time to promote it properly, you're just kind of doing it in a microwavable form. If you put it in that oven, yeah, it's going to take a little bit longer. But when it does come out, it's going to be packaged, it's going to be done, it's going to be ready to deliver, and you might get a better reception.
Yeah. No doubt, man. Like I said, I it's a couple of names in my head I'm just thinking of as far as artists to getting themselves out there. Yeah. And like you said, man, and you got to invest in yourself. Like, man. Invest instead of buying those Jordans, instead of, buying those rims. Oh, man, who's the, you said as far as to get it mixed and mastered, you said it's a studio that.
Yeah, it's a guy named Ken Turner. I know New Soul works with him. He does stuff in his studio.
New Soul. Yeah, New Soul, dope too.
Yeah, man. So Ken Turner, he's actually a guy that I met through another friend of mine here. But when I tell you, this dude is top notch.
Yeah.
Like, but again, you got to invest. You can't, like I said before, man, you cannot come to me for my resources, but willing to pay somebody else.
I've seen that.
And it's so true, man. This guy, he gets paid to work with big artists, but he's right here in Beaumont.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is go talk to him, man. Set up a studio time, get your stuff done properly. You at least know when it goes to that radio station, when it goes to that club and with the DJ, it's gonna be ready. It's gonna be, as they say, ready to go.
Yeah, and like you said, as far as getting their music played, like if you play T.I., let's say, because this new song came out or something, and then you play a local artist, the quality, it can't fall off a cliff.
No, it's got you got to be compatible. And I think a lot of folks kind of get afraid because they feel like, oh, well, I ain't got T.I. money. I do understand that. But man, these days there is absolutely no excuse why your stuff can not be compatible quality wise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, man, you know how sometimes you're looking at a movie on TV or you're watching something, it could be a TV show and it goes from the TV show is kind of low and the commercials, you're coming up.
Yeah.
You notice it. You notice it off top. And that's the same way it is with the music when it's being played on the radio, man. If I got to turn the volume all the way up in order to get your song, then that means you kind of cut some short steps. And you gotta invest in it, man. You really do. You really gotta invest in a lot, like promotions. And like I said, that's why I say don't be too proud to work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Let that investment that they're putting in you be your investment that you put into yourself, So whether that's t-shirts, whether that's cups, whether that's taking care of trips so you can go to this conference. You got the core DJs, the coalition DJs, the go DJs. A lot of those guys do retreats. And you know who's in there? A bunch of DJs.
Yeah.
They don't know about you if you're not putting yourself in those spaces.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You got to put yourself in those spaces. And, you can't just be like a frog on a stump and just wait for somebody to come save you and be like, hey, I heard your song. Let me do it. Don't just work like that,
I was talking to somebody earlier today. And my wife was asking her as she met somebody, because she was, saying that she was kind of in between dating. And she was like, but I don't really go out nowhere and I don't really go to places.
Yeah.
And I said, she's probably waiting on somebody to break in the house because that's the only way she's going to get seen.
Yeah.
So no, you really got to put yourself out there, man. Like I said, holler at me, man. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I definitely try to talk to everybody. I really do. I may not be able to hit you back right then, or I might not answer right then. I'm kind of caught up in other stuff, but I can't take all this information with me. So I'm telling y'all, when y'all hear about that 409 Media Mixer, y'all need to be there because it's free.
It is free. It's a nice location, great food. You got drinks and you networking and you meeting people. You know what I'm saying? So
you can't just sit in the corner and expect for people to come to you.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's the event for where you can. And actually, when I got into Garden, I met Miss Delilah.
Delilah.
And I seen her and she was giving out like okra seeds.
Yeah. And
I told her, I was like, I'm interested in gardening. And man, when I was talking to her, she was giving me that stare to see if I was serious.
Right.
Like I was just talking about it. And I was like, no, I'm really into getting into gardening and putting my hands in the. And that's how I met her. And now, man, I've been growing carrots, onions, cabbages,
Man,
greens.
so many resources here in Beaumont, man. It's just, and there's so many people that are just willing to give you the information.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And it's like you just got to get out there and network, man. I could drop a list of names of people that are good at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if you're not going to take that time, you can't get mad if you're in a race and somebody passes you up because you're too busy,
Yep.
You don't want to sweat.
Yeah.
I've
been seeing you do a lot of stuff in the community, man, as far as like being at events and stuff like that. Is that something you passionate about as far as doing? And why haven't, I don't know if you have it or not, but have you thought about starting your own nonprofit, or do you have a nonprofit? Because you had every event just, you know what I'm saying, giving back.
I just feel like I said before, I cannot expect for the community to support me if I'm not going to support the community.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't be at everything.
Yeah, that's true.
If I could be a clone or, I would try. I really tried to be it because I feel like these people put their time and money into making these events happen. The least I can do is try to show support.
Yeah.
And if I can't necessarily be there presently, I'm going to share their stuff on Facebook. I might give them a shout out on the radio because I love just seeing people sow back into their community. And when people don't show up for that, it can get discouraging, and it makes a person feel like, man, I don't want to do nothing because they're not going to support me. But so now it's always been a thing for me. It's just from some of my mentors back in the day, they would just say, man, you got to be out there. I call it politicking, and I ain't running for no political office.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, it's just about, man, I don't care if it's, like I said, breast cancer walk. I don't care if it's a walk for autism. I don't care if it's a walk for Parkinson. I don't care if it's an event for donating clothes. Like if I have the time and I can make it, I'm gonna show my face because I feel like you done took a lot of time trying to prepare that event. You want to make sure that people come out and support it. And maybe somebody can say, well, man, Erik Tee rocks with them. So maybe they good people, or I'm gonna go talk to them and it could lead to something, that could be bigger than big.
Yeah, no doubt. You didn't interview a lot of people, man. We talked about this one time, but man, you didn't interview so many people. Who were some of, like, as far as the highlights, as far as interviewing? Because I seen you talk to LL and all kind of people, man. Marcus Houston, like,
that was big. No, I ain't gonna lie. The two biggest really were Chuck D and LL.
Okay, yeah.
And but I've definitely talked to a few, and I was honored to it. Because again, it's one of them situations where Beaumont, while it's a beautiful place, a lot of times people are going to go to Houston first, or they're going to go to Dallas first. Yeah. So the fact that I actually have been able to create relationships with people where they say, well, my dog Erik Tee is in Beaumont, we going to let him get an interview with LL Cool J. Because my guy told me, he said I had the opportunity to send him anywhere. Yeah. But I wanted you to have him in Beaumont because he knew I was a fan too, just like we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
Like, I'm one of those cats that love music. Like, we're going to dissect the album. I want to know who produced it, and so that's how it was with LL. As a matter of fact, it was to the point that between LL and Chuck D both, the people at the label was texting me like, hey, can you cut it down? Because we were just talking. Like, I could have literally done a whole hour, if not more, talking to both of them, not just about music, but with LL, it could have been about movies. With Chuck, and again, when I'm talking to these celebrities, I don't care about the drama. I don't want to know who you slept with.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to talk about the music. I want to talk about what you're doing. How can we support what you got going on? So man, it's definitely been a lot of interviews that I've had. It's some moments that I wish I could have caught that I didn't catch. Like, I think one of my first interviews back in the day was with Roger Troutman. I didn't get a chance.
Roger Troutman?
I didn't get a chance to get any photos with him. But man, when I tell you, he came to the radio station and he pulled out his keyboard with the vocoder on there, and he literally played live on the air, man. Like, it was moments like that. Like,
yeah, that's classic right there, man.
It really made me appreciate what I do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I tell people all the time, man, a lot of folks have jobs. I don't really consider mine. True enough, I got work to do.
For sure.
But I'm literally living the dream of doing what I love doing.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, like, man, like, I have my 9 to 5 and I consider this a job too. Yeah. Even though I love it. Right. But I take it serious as a job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you said with artists, they got to invest in themselves. They got to take their craft serious. And that's how I feel. And you got to be passionate about it too.
Right.
I tell people, like, they always want to start a podcast, it's the thing. And I say, man, you got to be consistent because, yeah, you might want to say something, but after the first 2 shows, now, you see people kind of drop off from doing it from every week to once a month, and then once every other month, and then boom, it just fades out.
Got to be consistent with it, man. So that's why I commend you, because I know it takes a lot. And even we talked back in like November. You were already booking for June. So,
yeah.
I mean, a lot of folks don't realize it takes a lot, and you got to be consistent with it, because again, that's a whole another thing. How do you expect, if you're a store, how can I support you when you got these hours on the door, but then when I come, you're not there at that particular time?
Yeah.
And another thing, artists too, if you can, I understand when you make your music, you hear it all the time. You've heard it. You played it for everybody. It gets old to you, but your old music is always new to somebody else. So don't be so quick to switch up on a song. Cupid. I know Cupid from Lafayette with the Cupid Shuffle.
Yeah.
Cupid Shuffle was out a whole year before anybody else caught, before it was national. And that was because he decided to stick with it, and he knew he had something and he wanted to push it. So just because the song is old to you, you never know, that potentially could be the one, but you gotta invest into it.
I was
reach other people.
I was seeing Cash Money. It was Juvenile and Manny Fresh. They got a podcast now. I think it's called Still 400. And Juvenile said that 400 Degrees, they only did 2 songs from there as far as singles. They did and Back That Thing Up. And Juvenile said he wanted to do like 3-4 more singles. Him and Manny Fresh wanted to do Ghetto Children and a couple more. But the label was like, nah, we need to go ahead and get to the next album. But Juvenile was still trying to push. And I think Ghetto Children would have been a dope video too, as far as and I think Still Magnolia or something they want to do also. But he still wanted to push it or whatever. And I think last year he did a video to an old song off of 400.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I thought that was tight.
No, I mean, you need to. And that's another thing too, man. That's another thing, not really with radio, but just in the industry as a whole. Back in the day, you actually had people that were invested in the music to the point of like I said, they listen to music like we do. It was not just a job for them. They was hanging out with the artists, making sure the artists were interviews on time. But now it's more about the numbers. What's your streaming looking like? What are your, and so I think when that happens, that might have been on the cusp of kind of going to that point to where they just want to put out something new.
Yeah.
But no, if you actually are invested in the music, I mean, think about it. When Usher came out with Confessions, they had about 5 or 6 singles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so man, I can't see myself investing all this money into an album, getting all these producers, putting all this studio time, and only dropping 2 singles.
Yeah.
You got to, because that's like saying when a person downloads an album, they're only listening to 2 songs. They're listening to the whole.
Yeah, you gotta listen to the whole thing to see. You might miss a song.
Yeah.
So
sure. That's a given right there. So.
Yeah. Before we get you out of here, I know you busy. We got the wife in the back. The wife in the back chilling and stuff. But what are you looking for? What events should this area be looking forward to?
Man, definitely 4-9 Media Mixer.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely that. Yes.
Soon. I would ask you to please listen to me Monday through Friday. I'm on the radio from 10 to 3 on Magic 102.5. Big shouts out to my Cumulus family. And you can also download the Magic 102.5 app. And for the most part, like if it's anything coming up, I try to make sure to keep my listeners informed on everything they got going on. I will say it's Friday night right now. If you don't get a chance to make it, definitely go to tomorrow at the Betty Greenberg Center. They have a play called A Song for Coretta.
Oh, I heard about that.
Got a lot of wonderful ladies from the area that are on the show. And basically what it is, it's like right after Coretta Scott King died, a few ladies got together and you just get a whole bunch of different stories kind of intertwined. So they have things over at the Betty Greenberg Center, like I said, the Art Institute. Just, man, if you hear some comment, there's no reason to be saying there's nothing to do.
Exactly.
It's plenty to do. You just got to sometimes step outside your comfort zone. We all go to the club and turn up.
Yeah, I know.
But man, it's just so many other things.
There's other things out there, man.
Elevate that mentality, man. Put you in a space that you like, man, what I'm going to this place for? They got it right here at home.
I know you already said it, but how can people support you? I know you got the tea time. I want you to tell them how they can reach the tea time and stuff.
My thing is, if you have an event coming up, if it is a fundraiser, if it is a gala, whatever the case may be, let me know. And I would love to be a part of your event. I would love to host your event. If you have something coming up, I want to see you be successful. If you got any community events coming up in the city, you can hit me through Facebook, Erik Tee, Eriktee, or you can reach me at the radio station and let me know about it. You can actually email me, Erik Tee at Cumulus.com. So if you have anything coming up, nonprofit that you want to try to get the word out about, if you are a business and you want to try to get the word out and let people know what you got going on, we can definitely work up something to kind of get information out about your business. So my thing is, man, just whatever. If y'all see me, man, I'm not a stranger. I'm not hard to find. I'm not one of those standoffish type people, man. Come talk to me. If you got questions about radio, you got questions about marketing. If you're an artist, you got questions. Let's chop it up, man.
If somebody, like you say, if they have an event, they can, because I've been seeing that you have artists, you've been having different people on the radio promoting the event. Like, does that work for like businesses too? Like, as far as they get like a representative or something?
One thing I will say, like if you are a business, like not necessarily 501(c)(3), if you are a business, brick and mortar spot, like 9 to 5 type business,
yes,
then we could definitely help you out with commercials. So that would be considered like advertising. If you have like a nonprofit event coming up, that you have going on, then that would potentially be something that we could look at, for that we could kind of get you on the radio about. But I'm kind of like you with the podcast. Sometimes I have so many different people coming up and I can't get everybody on.
True.
But I definitely try to get the word out there. If you get it to me, I'll reach back out to you and see how we can help. I know I was emailed a couple of days ago about an event coming up at one of the schools. It's going to be like a job, kind of like a job fair type of deal for the kids. So I'm all for that, especially when it comes to the kids. I understand, what's going on in the area, and we want to try to do as much as we can to give the youth a positive outlook and something different. Hopefully we can make some stuff happen. I'm all for it. If you guys got some ideas and you want to talk about what we can do to try to, focus our youth on something positive or just try to give them something to do to kind of keep them out of trouble. Because, back in the day, we was, we just, parents found stuff for us to do.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
And so, man, just reach out to me, man. Reach out to Floyd. He know how to get it.
Yeah, reach out to me and I'll reach out to sure. So, hey, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. And like I said, this was an honor. I know you said, coming before the mayor. No disrespect to the mayor, but I was looking forward to this. Roy, he the homie, but you the big homie.
Hey, look, I appreciate it, man. Y'all support Floyd North. I'm telling you, man, he's the Kickback is like one of them. When I was telling people that I was going to be on here, like they was shouting you out, man. So
man, I appreciate it, man.
The city is positive. Y'all make sure y'all support Floyd. Man, if he need a new microphone, y'all help him with that microphone. Whatever the case may be.
Yeah, man. I'm always looking to upgrade.
Yeah,
so
he's doing some good stuff in the area, man. But love the whole setup, the vibes. He got
appreciate you. Appreciate it. I'm still building. So, but like I said, man, thank you for coming on. Appreciate you and your wife coming through and blessing the studio, man. So
it's all good, man. I appreciate the invite for sure.
All right, man. Look, y'all have a good weekend out there. Y'all be safe, man. Y'all make sure y'all could go back. Y'all could check this out on YouTube. It's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anything you can find podcast on. We on there, man. But like I said, just check this out and rewind it, especially you artists, because he dropped a lot of gems for y'all. So like I said, I appreciate everybody watching and tapping in, and I'll see y'all next week. That's what's up.